Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at GenerationToy Bulldozer. This is now the fourth figure released in this set. I do have Mixer Truck and Navy, the excavator. I have not yet reviewed them. Those reviews will be coming shortly. Now you might be wondering what the hell's going on with my voice. Well, I suffer from severe seasonal allergies, and as it's springtime here in the east coast of the United States, the pollen is out, everything's blooming, and I am utterly miserable. And the reason my voice is like this is simply because of postnasal drip. Look it up. It's something that I get hit with every spring and fall. So my voice issues aside, let's get into the figure. GenerationToy has done a fantastic job of modeling a Caterpillar bulldozer flathead or flat shovel that we see here. I'll see if I can dig up the actual model of the Caterpillar bulldozer, but they've done a fantastic job of modeling it here along with an external generator unit. Now this external generator unit actually does detach. You have to kind of turn it sideways and then it'll just pop off. It works really well, and it contains the fist for its limb mode. So we're actually going to put this guy off to the side and take a look at Bulldozer on the whole. Unfortunately, unlike the Toy World versions of the Constructicons, the GenerationToy versions, treads do not move on their own, which I actually think is okay. It does roll on a set of rollers, so there are 3 rollers per side. One major issue that I have with the figure is that in certain situations it doesn't really hold together all that well. The treads don't stay together on the side of the mode all that well. These sections that are actually the hydraulics don't stay together well, and parts of the bucket don't stay together well when you start moving things around. So just be wary of that if you decide to pick it up. It does roll okay without much resistance. Overall though, it looks really good as a bulldozer mode. I do like it quite a bit, and it is posable, though it is a little bit finicky because you have pieces that have a tendency, as I said, to come apart and fall off and disconnect, and things don't bend the right way. It's just something you need to be aware of, so just remember that when we're fiddling around with the unit. Bulldozer's transformation is complex but not too difficult. To start off with, we'll take the sides here, or these hydraulics, and detach them, collapse them, and flip them to the front of the shovel. Then come to the side of the shovel and disconnect the shovel from these lower bits and have them fold all the way back. There are these little spikes that are in here that are just more accent marks than anything else. They don't really do anything. So you could push them all the way up or you could deploy them all the way down. They really don't do much. Then come to the back of the vehicle mode, unpeg the treads and fold them down. Come to the front of the shovel and flip the shovel all the way up above the canopy, or as far up as you can. Then reach to the side of the shovel, or next, with the legs pointed down, we're going to take the obvious things that are feet, and they will swivel down on these little circles into place. So swivel them down and then turn them to face towards the front of the vehicle mode. And then come to the back, and these little discs will fold out, and then inside the discs are these little struts that fold up and snap into place, acting as very sturdy heels. A fantastic addition by GenerationToy. I really do have to applaud them, and you'll see why here in a second, but this little strut that they have built into the mold really helps the figure. Next, we want to come to the top of the engine, fold the smokestack down, come to the front here and unpeg the grill and just fold the grill up. Once we've got that grill flipped up, we can then fold forward the treads, and these sections will snap together to form the actual hips of the robot mode. And we've effectively formed the legs so far, but the last thing we need to do is come to the back directly underneath the canopy and pull out the figure's gun, which will then fold out into a gun. Then we can take the entire lower torso section and fold it up and snap it into place. Next up, we'll come to the back of the legs and unpeg some of the treads and fold them down. And then we'll come to the front of the legs and do the same thing in certain sections just above the gears, so then we free up some articulation. Then we can flip these sections down to form the side skirts, and then we've got, hey, articulation. Now the other thing we could do is come in here, unpeg this, and move them over to the side. You don't have to, but, or move it to the back, either way. I think it actually looks better in the back. You don't really have to, but it does add to a little bit of the robot mode. So then you come to the back and flip them up. So then that gives us thigh articulation and knee articulation. Now, if you notice, when we did the legs, they are very, very similar to Navy. If you've ever seen anybody else do a review of Generation Toys Navy, the excavator, the legs are virtually identical. The top is also as well. To start off with, we're going to take the bucket and unpeg the bucket shovels and just kind of fold them down out of the way. To be honest, the bucket shovels never truly get out of the way. They're kind of always in the way. Then we come to the front and we can open up what is effectively the hood, take the grill and unpeg it, and the grill section, when you unpeg it, will then open up the arms to be split in half. Take the grill section and flip it about 180 degrees around and peg them over the green hood sections. They just kind of sit there, they don't peg into place. Fold out the arms and then take the entire arm and upper torso unit and turn it 180 degrees around. And then when you do that, you can then take the arms and fold them forward and have them peg into place. Flip down the section here underneath the forearm and fold out the fists, which is a lot easier said than done because, one, they don't have any contact points for you to get your nail on, and two, this little joint right here is really tight. So when you got the fists folded out, you can then extend the elbows like that. So far we've got what looks to be a really bad G.I. Joe figure from the late 80s, or their later run of their toy line from the 80s, or something from the Inhumanoids. But that's not what we're going for. So next we'll take these shovel buckets. First, fold these little panels down on the outside of the buckets, and then you're supposed to get them lined up so that they just kind of rest on the back of the shoulders, which, if I'm honest, is absolutely terrible. That is a horrible way to store them. They don't peg into place or anything. They just rest back there. Now that would be fine if we didn't end up with a giant backpack, which you'll see here in a minute. Next is the head reveal. Come to the back, or come to the chest, I should say, and flip up this section here, fold it up, and there's the head. Now this is not the original G1 head. The figure does come with a different head that you can use for a more G1 look. Now the backpack section I was talking about, that has to do with the generator. The generator will reattach to the back like that, will open up like this, and then fold down and flip up along the back. So you get these weird thrusters, and then he's got posable missiles, but they don't really do anything. So that's it. That is the transformation into robot mode. And we end up with kind of a mess of a robot mode. Bulldozer looks really cool. I love the way this guy looks. He just looks beefy, gnarly, and ready to get into a fight. Except from the back. He looks god-awful from the back, and he looks like he's just about ready to give me the middle finger for some reason. There are some minor issues, though, which I'll get into. One, his torso, or upper torso, is far too loose. Two, nothing is pegging these shovel bits in. As you can see, I have them kind of transformed differently on both fists, or on both forearms. Did that on purpose, because I wanted to show you the differences that you could end up with. Posing this guy with the backpack is almost impossible, because the backpack gets in the way everywhere. There's nothing to do, there's no way to get around it other than taking it off. He does have some okay posability, though. Making use of that strut that's on the side of his leg, you can actually get some decent poses. His legs bend perfectly fine. It's the upper torso that's the problem. The arms have the range of posability, but as you can see, the shovels and the backpack just get in the way, and you end up with a very top-heavy, very unbalanced figure. Though this pose is pretty cool looking, I will give it that. Even though I'm a little down on Bulldozer with some of his components, like the fact that, one, he's ridiculously top-heavy, two, he swivels way too easily at the chest, and three, all of these lighter gray components feel really, and silver components too, feel really weak. I do like the figure quite a bit. I think it looks really cool and is a fantastic upgrade to Bone Crusher. As always, guys, I'm Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. And hopefully next time my voice won't sound so bad.